It's me again, Jill Blanchette, Green Thumb Stampers. Same clothes again. I thought while I was at it, because I'm getting so close to getting my card finished, I thought I would show you guys the next step, that little technique of this card is the flicking. See this over here? To me, it was flicked. So on that same weekend, I did another video when I was on to my flicking step and showed you guys a little bit of how to flick the ink. I had a paintbrush and I flicked the bristles. You'll see in the video, I flicked the bristles to get the paint to spread across the card. And again, as with the last video I am home and I did a couple other random ways to show you how to flick. I got the ink out and the aqua painter. That's a really good way to do it. It's less messy, way less messy than my weekend fiasco of trying to flick it with a paintbrush. So that's it, and at the very end I show you my card that I came up with. So here we go for Finally Friday. So here's another technique on this same card that we just showed you last week with the scraping with the scissors. We're gonna flick. We got re-inker on the plate with a little tiny bit of water, and then we're going to dip the paintbrush in and just going to rub it across my finger, and it's going to flick onto the paper and give it another look to the paper of splatter if you don't have a splatter stamp. And when it dries, it'll look like that. So that's just another technique of something you can do to add dimension, a different look to your paper. I'm going to show you some additional ways that you can flick paper. Flick your ink. So I'm going to get some of my papers that I've been using over the last couple videos and show you. I've got a cup with a little bit of water in the bottom, and so then you can depends how dark you want it. I'm just going to put 1 drop in there for, well, maybe I better, I'm sure 1's enough, but I'm going to put 2 drops in there. And then as I showed you in the other video, you can take your paintbrush and then like flick the paintbrush, but you can also, let me mix that up. You can also use your aqua painter. Now you could get the tip all wet. I gotta just squeeze it. This is an old aqua painter too. We sell new ones now. I'm gonna get the new ones. I just haven't yet. But you can squeeze it and get the end all wet, and then you could pick up the ink from the lid. I don't have a ink pad over here. I'm sorry, but so now I do. So you could take the ink that's in the lid of, I guess it's not the lid at this point, but you can squeeze the ink pad, and that will put the ink into the plastic base. And you could get your aqua painter all wet and then pick up the water from here, and then you could flick it like I showed in the other video. You could flick it around, or you could pick it up there again, but I've got this cup that I'm going to work with. I can put the tip of the aqua painter in there, and that will pick up the color. And then if you just like tap it on your finger, that's going to splash it. It will splash it all over, but that's going to flick it off off the aqua painter onto the paper. You can tap it harder if you want. The harder you tap, the more you're going to get off. You can also like flick it with your finger, like you're snapping somebody. However it works for you. A lot of it's just you got to pick it up and make sure your brush tip is empty or soggy enough. You can just tap it like you're, I don't know what you'd call this, tapping on a, maybe people that you see flicking their cigarettes, they tap their cigarettes to get the ash off. You could do something like that. I'm hitting it with my fingernail, tapping down hard on it. But that's a couple other ways that you can flick the ink around. You can also get the spritzer bottles, fill them with some of the color and stuff, and spray it. Oops, it still has water in it. But that's going to give you more of a fine mist than it will anything. So that's why I did not use that, because once you get that full, it's just an not an aerosol, but it's just a pump spray, and so there's no adjustment to it. But these, we sell these still too. These are great. And I couldn't find my tool. Does anybody remember back in the day we sold this, it was a bulb that you pumped, and it had a pointy end on it, and it had I'll call it a clasp, and the ink, this pen went in there, and then the bulb was over here, and the point of the bulb went down. It came down and pointed at the tip of the marker, and you squeezed it, and the air from the bulb squeezed across the tip of your marker and did the same effect. And gosh, I wish I could have found mine. I looked in my I'll call it my junk drawer to see if I could find it, but I couldn't. So that would have been a hilarious little throwback Friday. But that's it, guys. This is the last technique that I'm going to show you on this card. It's been 3 steps I've shown you, and then this is what my final card looked like. I cut out some of the poinsettias from the poinsettia set in the holiday catalog. This is also a die cut from in there. This was from the Peace and Joy set in the catalog. I cut out the different layers that it has in there. I cut them out and glued those all together. This one is 3 layers. I put some jewels on there. Cut this out of the ornate frames set, and it's about yay long, and I cut it skinny enough that it lopped off the ends because it was a rectangle. And where I told you that the girl that I was copying, she had cuts and tears in hers, I put some of the poinsettia designer paper behind it to help pull in with some of these other colors. So that was my end results of my 3 different videos. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching my 3-part series for my swap card that I made for Christmas swap that I'm in. It was fun showing you guys all the different steps. This was a lot of steps for this card. A lot of big die cut and emboss machine work. The flicking, the roughing it up, the edges and everything. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got to show you guys the different techniques that went into this card that you might be able to use for yourself down the road. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll be back again next week for another version of Finally Friday. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.